We got a truth-telling moment this week from presidential candidate John Kasich. Governor Kasich was sitting down with the Washington Post editorial board. And because the Washington in Washington Post is for Washington, D.C., the editorial board asked Governor Kasich for his view on whether D.C. should be allowed to become a state. John Kasich had voted against that when he was a congressman, so the Post asked him if there had been any change in his position since then. And this was his answer. It's amazing.
Probably not. I don't know. I'd have to, I mean, to me, that's just, I just don't see that we really need that. Okay, I don't know. I don't think so.
You realize, though, that people in the D.C. pay taxes, go to war, and they have no vote in Congress. How is that?
Well, look, because you know what it really gets down to, if you want to be honest, is because they know that's just more votes in the Democratic Party.
More votes in the Democrat, okay. A for honesty. That's exactly why Republicans are against D.C. statehood. Later on in the interview, he actually told the Post he might have to revisit that decision, that he might flip-flop on D.C. statehood. And now, this week, we learn there's somewhere else where John Kasich supports statehood, and that is Puerto Rico. Last month, Puerto Rico held its Republican primary. Marco Rubio won. He scooped up all 23 delegates. Those delegates remain bound to him on the first ballot, but after that, they're free. And throughout this process, the Puerto Rico delegations made it clear that they'll stick together. They're going to vote as a block for one candidate in Cleveland, all 23 of them, and they have made clear that they will all vote for whichever candidate supports Puerto Rico statehood. That's their one demand. You support statehood, you get 23 delegates. And so John Kasich's now saying, deal me in. John Kasich, as of this week, now supports Puerto Rico statehood. He announced it after meeting with Puerto Rico's delegates on the sidelines of the RNC meeting in Florida this week. Statehood would have to be passed by an act of Congress. There seems little chance of that happening, particularly with this Congress, so presumably there's no downside for John Kasich in coming out in favor. One Puerto Rico delegate told us today he understands why Kasich's newfound support for their cause might seem a little cynical. The delegate told us the Trump and Cruz campaigns have also been in touch with Puerto Rico Republicans, but only Governor Kasich has offered his support like this. In a letter to Puerto Rico delegates expressing his newfound love for Puerto Rico's statehood, John Kasich got straight to the point. His opening paragraph right off the top, quote, "It's now clear we're going to have an open convention. As a delegate from Puerto Rico, you'll have a critical role in selecting our nominee. Ahead of the convention, I want you to know that Puerto Rico statehood has my full support." To which I say, well played, Puerto Rico Republicans. You have leverage. It makes sense to use it, especially when you have just one ask, and especially when you are asking for it from people who are very, very desperate to say yes to you.